Hello folks, Junkie Rock 13 here. Everything vaping related is Junkie Rock 13. My real name's Ross Sanders, and I'm here bringing you a quick little look at the TEC Telescopic device. Now, I purchased this device in a co-op from a supplier in China. I am not sure who is selling these devices. I did see them on a couple vendor sites, but when I went to go look tonight, I could not find them. I don't know what they're calling them, but the supplier called them the TEC Telescopic device. I'm going to take a look at it, see what I think about it. The close-up, I'm going to take apart the switch and look at the designs of the switch and what components come in it, how to put it back together. That's about it. The TEC Telescope device. Let's take a look, see what I got. Okay folks, here we go. The TEC Telescopic mod or device, personal vaporizer, fully mechanical, made out of chrome plated brass. Now here is all of the sections or pieces of the switch, and this is the telescopic section. I'm just going to put the switch together. Now this is fully disassembled. This is not how it comes. But seeing how it gets put back together, you will then know how to take it apart. Here is the bottom section, the butt portion. The butt portion. Yeah, the button portion of the device. It has a knurled section, a little knurled on the side. 2 vent holes to release any gases from battery, so your device does not turn into a pipe bomb. A center post which will come in contact with the battery, and little threaded section up there. And we have a kind of loose battery spring. It is very springy. It's not too tight, as I would say. Then we have a little Delrin piece, a little insulator section here, with also 2 vent holes, center hole there, and some threading with a lip. Another little section here, threading, knurled section, flat on one side. You can see how it's a fingerprint magnet on this very high gloss finish, and then a deep well section on the other side. This is the locking ring, which will allow you to lock the switch so it won't fire in your pocket. There's threadings on the inside of one side and smooth on the other. A little locking washer and a little hex nut. Now I'm going to put this together. The way I like to put together the switch, I take the spring, flip it with the small side down, put it on that side right there, down towards the bottom of the switch so it looks like that. Then I take the flat section of this piece and on the threaded side of the ring and put it in there. Screw it all the way down. Now the threading on this is very nice. No issues with the machine quality. It's very nice. You'll notice with the finish on this locking ring, it kind of has like a disco ball effect. Little flat plateau sections of it that cause like a mirrored effect. You can see it sparkle in the camera. Okay, once we get there, we're going to wait to put the Delrin piece in just 1 second. But now, with the flat side here, with the smooth side here, I'm going to take it and put it right over that spring. Okay. And the positive, or the post, the center post right there is going to just come up through the center. Okay. Now I'm just going to take that locking washer and put it right around that post. And then the little hex nut. Now I have sausage fingers. Okay, I knew that was going to happen. So I'm just going to grab the needle nose and okay, I dropped it again. Okay, grab the needle nose and hold it on that threading on that post and kind of screw it in there. I hope I'm catching threads, and I'm not. Of course, it's always going to be a pain in the ass when I'm doing a video. Let me do this one more time. I was probably going the wrong way. Isn't that wonderful? Well, now you see how, because you got to hold the spring down, so you can't really. Okay, I have to do it with the needle nose because I don't have fingers to go in there. Okay, well, I got it started now. And just work its way all the way down there. You can hold it in there with your finger and just tighten it up. And then when you get to the portion where you can't leave your finger in there, just put a little needle nose pliers on there and just tighten it up till it goes down all the way tight. Okay? There you go. Now you're going to take the last piece of the button or the switch and just put it, set it in there. Grab your needle nose one more time, and then two little air holes right there, or vent holes. Put your little points of your needle nose in there and just give it a turn, and it'll catch the threading. And there you go. The switch is fully assembled. Very easy, except for my misunderstandings of the lock or the hex nut there. So that is the switch. There is the locking ring. It goes down all the way to the bottom, so you can't fire. When you push it all the way up to, or twist it all the way up to the top, it allows it to be fired. Now the spring in this is very loose, so when you're pushing on it, it does not take much pressure. I'm going to set the switch off and talk about the telescopic portion of the device. It is a basic chrome plated brass. Decent threads in there. Okay, you're not going to have no issues with the threads binding up. Or now the spring that is down in there was not that long. I actually took my needle nose pliers, grabbed the spring in there, okay, and pulled it up, because when I was using it with an 18350, the 18350 was not making contact. It was rattling around in there. So I pulled the spring up and it makes perfect contact now. The telescopic portion, like you can see that mirrored finish or disco ball finish on it now. You can also see the fingerprints really attracting to it. But the machining is very nice. Telescopes out all the way up to an 18650 or all the way down to an 18350. Okay, on the top there is a 510 connection, and the center post, I want you to see the center post in there. It is kind of small in diameter. Just want to show you what the center post looks like in, let's say, the Z-Max. Okay, you can see how big in diameter the ZMAX one is, and the one on here is a lot smaller. Now that poses a problems with some of the cartomizers that I've been using. The air hole in the bottom of the cartomizers, I will show you one for instance. Okay, this is the bottom of a regular, it's a Evolution tank, but it's a Boge Cartomizer in there. Now with the air hole being that size and the positive post being the same size almost, it actually forms a seal around that air hole and does not allow a lot of air movement to get into the Boge Cartomizers. So if you do use Boge Cartomizers, you may have to use an adapter with this 510 connection, because I was not getting no hit with the 510 with this 510 connection. Now there is a deep, very extremely deep juice well. I mean, I hope you can see that on camera. It is a large juice well. Okay, let me show you the 3 batteries that I have been using with this device. I have been using an 18350. This is an AWIMR, an 18490, and an 18650. Now with the 18650s, the kick does not fit, but with the 18490s, oh, excuse me, let me put it on the right side of the battery. The 18490s and the 18350s, it fits perfect. And the way for the kick to go in, you would want to put the top side up, adjust your wattage to what you would like, and then just drop it in the device. Okay, now you are going to have to push it down just, okay, wait a minute here. Push it down with your finger to make it all the way up to that spring. Now when it makes it up to the spring, you're going to have to open up the telescope. Now if you're using an 18350, you can put it in there like that, and then just tighten it up to where you're getting some nice tension there. Okay, and then it'll fire. Alright, and the kick is very easy to come out, just 1 or 2 shakes. It's not very hard going in or out. But what I'm going to show you with this device, I'm going to show you with the 18650. So you can actually use, let me put these batteries off to the side. You can actually use this device negative up or positive up. I like using the positive up, making sure that spring is lined up correctly. Okay, having the positive up like that. Because I stretched out the spring in there a little bit too much, it has a tendency to twist over towards the side a little bit. I'm just opening this up all the way. Put the switch on, and then I'm going to bring it down. Okay, there you go. I am going to throw this dripping atomizer on there, just because I like the way it looks on this device. It seems to look pretty decent. Because I'm holding this, because this dripping atomizer is put on with O-rings, and the top cap, actually I got juice in there. I hope I didn't leak it all over the place. So there you go. There is the TEC Telescopic device. Let's give it a vape and see what I think about it. Okay folks, so there you go. Here is the TEC Telescopic device. Like I said, this is a very insane fingerprint magnet, but it does look nice. It is a pretty decent device. It was inexpensive. I like the vent holes, the 510 connection. Let me just show you real quick on how that works with the Boge Cartomizer. See, I can get a vape, but I can't get no airflow. Very tight. So you will have to use that with a, if you're going to use a Boge Cartomizer or a Cartomizer that has the air hole like the ones on the bottom of the Boges, you will have to use an extension. I know it's not anything that I would like to do, but I tend to use a dripping atomizer on here, a rebuildable dripping atomizer, this one. I think my battery's dead, or I may have filled this too much. When I fill this dripping atomizer too much, sometimes the vape gets really muted. Flooded. Let's try that again. Okay. Now, the switch is nice. It works every time. I don't get no misfires. The way the switch works on the bottom, I'm sorry, I really didn't show that in a close-up, and I really should have. I hope you can see that. You notice that that center post, the Delrin piece, the battery sits on the Delrin, okay? And it's not making contact with the center metal post. But pushing it up, the metal post comes up through the Delrin and makes contact with the battery, completing the current. Nice design. There's no magnets in it. Some magnets on some switches are very nice. They work very well. No magnets in this, but I will say the spring is very loose. When I set it down, it don't fire, but if I had a heavier tank on this, I think it would fire. So, that being said, I am going to be looking for a tighter spring, a more stiffer spring, I guess I should say. Because it's an easy throw. It fires very easy, but I wish it was a little tighter so I can set it down without hitting the locking ring. Now it hasn't fired. I didn't leave it there and it fired and it smoked up my Boge Carto, but it goes down a little bit when I set it down. I don't know, just a little pet peeve for me. The threading in the 510 connection, I did have a few issues with putting on Vivi Novas. When I put them on there, they tended to almost go off a thread, sort of like twist off the thread, almost bind up a little bit. So the threading in the connection is not that good. The finish on it is nice, if you kind of like that disco ball effect. Looks really nice when it's shined up, but it's kind of hard to keep like that. Let me show you how it vapes a couple more times, and then we'll be out of here. I'm vaping some, this is Juicy Vapors Rat Juice. Very nice juice. It's made by a fellow Zen Findel. He now sells, this is his recipe, and they're selling it over at Juicy Vapor. Very nice flavor. It's like a caramel tobacco. but it is a reduced PG, 12 milligram. So the vapor is pretty good. Now what I am going to say about this switch, it is very flat. So the edge of the switch is kind of, I don't want to say sharp, but very squared off. You can feel it in your finger that it's squared. It's not rounded. I like that it's not rounded because it stands up straight without tipping over. Whereas like the Z-Max is rounded, it wobbles. So this does not wobble. It works well with the kick. Pretty decent device. It's not as heavy as a stainless steel telescopic device, like I did one on the Uranus, but it's nice. It's not a bad little device. It was worth the money. That's the TEC Telescope, folks. As soon as I find out what vendors are selling these, I will put a link in the bottom of the description, and check them out. So that's it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel up above. Comment down below, and I am running that contest on the AGAT. I'm giving one away, so check out my other video. And if you have any questions, please PM me. Any questions about Genesis or rebuildable atomizers, if I can help you, I really will. That's it. Please subscribe to my channel, folks, and make sure you check me out on Saturday nights on elixirtv.com. From 8 to 10, I do my show, Gratefully Dedicated Vaping. We'll check you out over there, folks. Can't even talk today. All right, man. Take care, everybody. Keep vaping.